morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So today we're going to be looking at actors in public policy making. Actors in public policy. Now, actors are institutions, bodies, organizations, citizens or individuals that are involved in policy making. Of course, there are people or institutions that must necessarily shape, reshape, review, and influence public policy at every point in time. Now, these institutions, bodies, individuals are the actors in public policy making. Let me be very quick, to point out that there are two major actors that influence public policy, What are the two actors? The first is the governmental actors, and the second is the non-governmental actors. Okay, so what are the governmental actors, or what is governmental actor? Now, governmental actors occupy formal public positions and are therefore directly connected, to and very influential in the public policy process. These are actual policy makers who occupy the policy making position. They are mainly the acceptors and converters of environmental demands and pressures into policies. However, they have their own institutional, individual perceptions, attitude, values, beliefs, and interests which are brought to bear on policy making. Now, what are the bodies, what are the institutions, that make up the governmental, actors? The first one is the legislative bodies. Now, legislative influence over policy range from its initiation and formation to its implementation, control, and review. The influence over policy emanates from the legislative function for representation and expression of power, opinion, lawmaking, control, and oversight of the executive branch and control of the expenditure. The legislature therefore enacts the laws which set up policy programs and consequently determine the content, extent, and timing of policies, as well as the personnel, mode, and intensity of implementation, and sources, as well as the level of fundings. Okay. Apart from these, most legislatures or most legislative bodies also have power to monitor, oversee, control, and review policy programs. This is done through, relevant legislative committees, like the annual appropriation committee, that actually have the power to investigate, legislate resolutions, and of course motion, as well as questions and deliberations over, the appropriation. Okay, so that is actually the legislative body. Now let us go to the next one, which is the executive body. All of these are under, the governmental actor or actors. Okay, now let us look at the executive bodies. Now, the executive include the president, the minister, top public office holders, advisors, and assistants. Now, the executive has responsibility and power for the implementation of policies. The executive possesses enormous influence on the initiation, enactment, implementation, performance, and modification of public policies through its powers, and responsibilities. Now, the executive branch is clearly, a major actor in the initiation, drafting, and formation of public policies. The executive influence, the executive influence on policy formation is because of its primacy and resources, okay, in the political process. Now, it provides leadership to the public bureaucracy, and manages, to accomplish, some of the all of these policies. Now, moreover, as a policy implementation, okay, or as policy implementers, the managers of governmental administration, the executive possesses the controls, okay, possesses and controls enormous funds, funds facilities, and of course patronage and other resources through pronouncements to the propriety, okay, fairness, legality, and of course constitutionality of laws or proposed laws. Okay, so the next one that we have is the judiciary. Now, the judiciary could therefore make laws, kill laws by declaring them null and void and unconstitutional. They also change the course of policy activities and actions, and then they enhance policy choice by tending the weight of legality and propriety to a policy alternative, and moderate implementation activity, particularly the conduct and manner of bureaucratic officials and implementation. Now, the judiciary is a moderator, an umpire, and mediator of conflict, and judge of propriety in the policy process. Okay, so that is actually for judiciary. Now, let us go to the bureaucracy. Now, the bureaucracy is a major organizational content within which policy making, implementation, and evaluation takes place. The traditional conception of bureaucracy's role in public policy is that of bringing to bear on policy making and implementation expertise, skills and competence. Now, the bureaucracy is strategically placed to generate, and it does generate or initiate a large part of, public policy. Okay, so that is actually for bureaucracy. Now, let us go to the non-governmental actors. Who are the non-governmental actors? The non-governmental actors are actually the actors, okay, that influence policy through governmental, actors. Okay, they seek to assess, these actors, lobby and mobilize them, okay, to support and convert their interests and demands into required policy output. Okay, now the first actor, non-governmental actor in the public policy making process is political party. Now, political parties help in the articulation and aggregation of policy issues, and in the initiation and formulation of proposed policies. Now, political parties articulate the needs, demands, and interests of their members, okay, and supporters, and mediate, okay, as well as compress and aggregate them into course of policy action. Now, political party machineries as well as researchers also consider policy issues and alternatives and decide on the course of action, okay, from time to time. Okay, so that is actually political party. Now, let us look at interest groups. Now, an interest group is a collection of individuals with some common characteristics, interest and interaction. They exist principally to project, pursue, and protect their common interests, through or by influencing the policies and decisions of governmental actors. They are active in the initiation, generation, formulation, as well as formation of public policies, and in the determination of their content and direction. Groups constitute a linkage between the public and the government. They articulate the interests and demands of their members to governmental actors and the policy process and seek to influence them to enact their demands and choices into policy actions. So interest groups, actually initiate policies and suggesting and recommending policy solutions to problems, that pertain to their, activities and interests. So sometimes groups cooperate with governmental actors in the design and formulation of policies. Okay, so the last non-governmental actor is the citizenry. Now the citizenry are important actors in the policy process. Okay, they constitute the human environment of policies, make the demand for public policy, and are the beneficiaries of the public policies. Citizens influence public policy process through political parties, interest groups, elections, and the mass media. Thank you very much.